to another episode of the Elevated Beauty Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Fouts, and in today's episode, I wanted to record something that I see a lot of newer estheticians asking questions on, which is how to gain and keep clients. So I definitely wanted to give some insight and some tips on that. So as always, if you're interested, then keep on listening. Okay, to start off, I do kind of want to rephrase that a bit because when I do see estheticians looking for advice on how to get new clients, that is all it is. I never see anyone asking questions or advice on how to retain clients. And so that's what I really like to emphasize anytime someone is looking for tips on how to market their self and gain exposure to bring new clients in the door. I really like to tell people that although that is great when you're starting out because you need to build a base, you also need to equally, if not actually more, be focusing on how to retain the clients that are already walking through your door. All right, so I outlined 8 steps in how I believe are really great tools in how to gain and keep clients. Of course, like I kind of mentioned before, client retention is really what's going to sustain your business. If a new client is walking through your door every day, that's not going to sustain your business. So you really want to create strong bonds and relationships with your clients. So number 1, you want to have a clear self-image. And if you believe that you don't have a clear self-image, I definitely would encourage you to listen to my podcast episode. I believe it was titled like How to Find Your Authentic Voice and how that's vital to your business. So I have a clear self-image because I have done a lot of like self-awareness and self-discovery. So basically, clear self-image is how you perceive yourself to be and kind of like knowing what you stand for. So number 2, you want to have a mission or a greater purpose. So having a mission, I feel like every business needs a mission statement. I personally do. My mission statement is self-care elevated with ethical aesthetics, and that's something I stand by and something I can refer to when I'm trying to make any type of business decision. And my greater purpose is showing people what elevated self-care looks like and what that does for your not only physical body but your mental and emotional well-being. And so we'll move on to number 3. You want to have a clear vision. That kind of relates with a clear self-image, but a self-image is just yourself because, you know, your career lawn should not be your only vocation. So you need to have a clear self-image first, and then have a clear vision for what you want your business to be in terms of not only what you're going to achieve with your business, but how other people will perceive it, what your aesthetic will be like, all these different things. So I do have a clear vision in my business. I like to offer a fun, inviting environment where people feel like they're getting a luxury service. It feels amazing. They feel like they're well taken care of, that I'm well educated. So that is personally what my vision is. I like to offer, like I said, a fun environment. So I like to kind of have not like the typical spa sounds and music. I like to kind of incorporate things that I like and things that are maybe a little bit offbeat in terms of like what you would generally expect in a spa atmosphere. And so that is number 3. Number 4 is mastering your skill. Of course, before you offer anything, you need to master it, in my opinion. And a lot of people don't master a skill before they start offering it, just because under their license, they are technically allowed to. But then what you're doing is you are putting your client at risk, and you're really not having any integrity by doing that. So if you want to be known for having a good integrity and a good level of trust, you definitely want to master your skill, and people are definitely going to trust you, recommend you, and be loyal to you because of that. So number 5 is be accessible. I see a lot of people on social media that say like cash only or DM to book an appointment. And that's absolutely ridiculous. I would never book with anyone if I had to DM them to book an appointment. There should be either a phone number I can call or there should be a booking link. So that kind of lowers an accessibility for a lot of people, and you're going to lose out on clients by doing that. So not only having the correct manner of business performed, but you also want to make sure that you are accessible on several different forms of social media. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Not everybody has a Facebook. Maybe they get on Instagram. So you need to have an Instagram so you can not miss out on those opportunities. Then we'll move on to number 6, which is knowing who your ideal client is. And I hope that you guys have a notebook, because I'm kind of just like running through this right now. And if you don't have a notebook, rewind the episode real quick and go grab a notebook and just write these different steps down, and you can kind of refer back to them. So number 6 is knowing who your ideal client is. You definitely need to be doing this. So you need to know who are you trying to speak to, because whenever you're posting content out in the world, you need to be speaking to somebody. You need to speak to your audience, and you need to know who your audience is, because that's what's going to attract them. And there's a person for everybody. You won't be for everybody. I certainly know I'm not for everybody. So I know my ideal client is someone who appreciates my education and what I have to offer. So my ideal client isn't someone that's going to come to me and then ask me to refer them a full drugstore list, because they do not see any benefit of buying professional product. My ideal client is not someone who, rather than me saying who my ideal client isn't, I'm going to just tell you who they are. My ideal client, like I said, is someone who appreciates my education, is someone who enjoys the finer things in life, but also I like to incorporate a happy medium, because I myself know how expensive luxury services are, self-care services are. So I like to not only offer a high quality product, but I like to keep it affordable at the same time. So I want to kind of keep a happy medium, and I definitely price my products and my services within an affordable manner. And I offer a military discount. So my ideal client, like I said, is someone who enjoys the finer things, someone who appreciates my education and all that I put in, because my education never stops. I'm always investing into it. So I feel like people should understand that investment kind of needs to return for what I'm offering. So number 7 is to create your outreach. And what I mean by that is to figure out how to market yourself. And so that is kind of a strategic thing. There are a lot of different ways you can market yourself. Some more successful than others, maybe 10 years ago. So scrap those and incorporate newer ones. I personally follow different business coaches on Instagram, because that's where I do a lot of my marketing and outreach, because I feel like that's one of the more popular apps. Of course, TikTok is, but I haven't really mastered TikTok yet. So I definitely follow other people that I can learn from, and then kind of figure out the algorithm of that using like hashtags that are relevant for what a client may search. So if you live in Sacramento, just like hashtag Sacramento facial, Sacramento esthetician, Sacramento lashes, things like that. And then even like neighboring cities. And then additionally with that, reels are a really big thing. So just make sure you're staying up to date on your postings. And then let's see, what else is there to create outreach? Of course, if you have like a booking site like Square, I know does it, you can definitely take advantage of your client contact information and send out like monthly emails to remind clients like, hey, I'm still here, or I have this discount going on. So I would say that those are the 2 most successful things, kind of contacting your clients directly like that, and then also just staying up to date on your socials. And then, so that's the 7th step. And then number 8, creating and keeping loyal clients. So I kind of already explained earlier how important client retention is. So ways that you can do that are not only the steps that I already mentioned, but making sure that you are creating an irresistible offer. So that's how to create a client, is create an irresistible offer. At first, some people don't agree with discounting your services, but I think when you're starting out that you should do that to get people in the door at least. And don't discount it too low to where it's suspicious, but definitely create an offer that's going to draw people in, and then offer them a high level of quality where they don't desire to go anywhere else. And ways that you can do that is by offering certain amenities that some people might think it's too much. I kind of don't think that there is a too much, because this is a luxury service. A lot of the things that we do are considered luxury services. So I like to offer like spa water or wine, offer really comfortable amenities like really nice bedding, just a nice atmosphere. Make sure that you're investing into it, because people are going to notice that and appreciate it. I certainly know that and I've talked about this before on my podcast, that I did go get a facial with someone and there was like no comfortable amenities at all. And when I walked in the door immediately, I knew I wasn't going to come back, because I had experienced, spas before that had offered that had offered comfy blankets and a comfortable bedding and dim lights and soothing music, and this person didn't offer any of that. So I knew I definitely was not going to come back. And I feel like when people do book services with us, that's something that they expect. So those are my quick 8 steps on how to gain and keep clients. Of course, there's probably some other things I could mention, but I was trying to run through this episode kind of quickly. If you follow any of the esthetician groups on Facebook, like Secrets of Estheticians, Esthetician Think Tank, I know there's a few others, but those are the 2 main ones that I always kind of connect on. I definitely would use their search engine and get some additional advice through there. Or you can follow me on Elevated Beauty EB on Instagram or Facebook. And I do also share a few things on there. And then my podcast, I also have an Instagram page for that, Elevated Beauty Podcast. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you next Monday, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for another episode.